5 years and still talking. This is GabNet, the Great American Broadcast Network. Talk like you've never heard it before. We're GabNet, and we've got you covered live 5 nights a week. First Tuesday through Friday at 9:30 Eastern, it's The Exchange.
So I watched Avengers Endgame yesterday.
I saw it on Monday.
Yeah, what a letdown.
Letdown? You thought it was a letdown, huh?
I really, really did. Less action. Mm-hmm. And they did the girls fight together thing again, which
that annoyed the shit out of me.
What's that?
That annoyed the shit out of me.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God.
Tuesday through Friday at 10 Eastern. Join Alex Bennett on The Ramble.
Nobody's a chain smoker anymore because they can't afford to be.
Yeah.
But in those days, when a pack of cigarettes was like, well, you got them for free if you walked around enough.
Around Union Square.
People were handing them out, in these packs of 5 and so on. But
now you're a pariah if you smoke.
It was really, really cheap. Today, it's so expensive that, people say, can I bum a cigarette? That's what they used to say to you. Today, I'd say, are you kidding me? You can't fucking bum my cigarette.
Tuesday through Friday at midnight, The Intersection.
And that's why nobody's ever heard me sit and bitch like people have for the last 3 years with Donald Trump. I just know that, the pendulum swings, and I don't like the government I have right now, but I'm not sitting there whining, complaining.
Oh, come on. You ought to do that. That's America.
If you like sports, we've got that too with The Arena, Wednesday nights at 8:30 p.m. Eastern.
The University of Ohio, or Ohio State University, I should say, my apologies, put in an application to trademark the word "the," which is just happens to be the most commonly used word in the English vocabulary.
Catch up on all the shows with our weekend flashback. All shows have the Citizen Panel, an exclusive concept of GabNet. It's new, it's daring, it's talk like you've never heard it before.
Hi, everybody. This is Alex Bennett, and I've had a long and interesting trip. It's called life. And for years, people have demanded that I write a book about it, and while I've been a writer, my main talent has always been that of a broadcaster. Over a year ago, I decided not to write the book, but using my best skill, I decided to tell it. It's called Life in the Passing Lane, and I described it as an audio biography. It's presented in 30-minute chapters, so it's easy to binge listen. And you can access it on the GabNet page by clicking on Life in the Passing Lane and going to a page with every single episode, plus some extras. If you want to access it on your mobile device, that's easy too. It's on iTunes. It's Life in the Passing Lane, an audio biography by me. I'm Alex Bennett.
What happens when you combine the largest broadcaster in America with a puny, insignificant podcaster? You get the huge platform of iHeartRadio and Alex Bennett's Ramble. Yes, now the Ramble is being carried on iHeartRadio as one of thousands of podcasts they make available. Now the big question is, how do we navigate this clutter? The answer is you. Go to iHeartRadio.com, then to their podcast section, and search for Alex Bennett's Ramble. Once you've found it, make it a favorite. If enough of you do it, we could make that 15-year-old girl with her makeup tips step aside for the new king of podcasting. Okay, who am I kidding? She's about 2 million subscribers ahead of us, but it will help to put us on the map. The Ramble and iHeartRadio. Proof that Alex isn't good enough to be on one of their radio stations, but they are desperate enough to feature the Alex Bennett's Ramble podcast. A match made in broadcasting heaven. The Ramble from GabNet. Talk like iHeart and you have never heard before.
5 years and still talking. This is GabNet, the Great American Broadcast Network. Talk like you've never heard it before. This is GabNet, the Great American Broadcast Network. Talk like you've never heard it before.
Oh, where was that coming from? We fucked up. So what else is new with you? Anyway, guess I've got a cold tonight. Big fucking deal. Anyway, let's go check in with a friend of ours, okay? Ladies and gentlemen, he is the smartest man in America. No, he's not the smartest man in America.
He has a room temperature IQ.
He has a room temperature IQ of 98.6. No, Larry Bubbles Brown, the last time we talked to him, we talked to Larry about the fact that he really was he's amazing. You know, that he could tell you for the last 100 years, every winner of the World Series and who they played. And in one case that we mentioned, you actually knew how many games it took to win the game.
Yeah, a lot of them I know how many games it went, but and again that's from childhood, and now I've gotten to the point where I can't even watch a baseball game. It bores me.
Really? Son of a bitch. So you gained this knowledge because you liked baseball, right?
Well, yeah, as a kid growing up, I just lived for baseball. I don't know why.
Yeah. What did I live for? I lived for getting through the next day. I think that was about it. I had very low. I had very low expectations in life, you know. So
yes, and our worthless pursuit of women was a big part of our life.
You know, if I didn't have a dick, I would have so much more respect for myself. You know,
it's horrible. The male sex drive is horrible, isn't it?
Well, yes, it is, and but I thank God now at my age I don't have the same sex drive I once had, you know, and if I try to jerk off, it really sputters out, you know. In fact, since the prostate biopsy, there's blood in it, so it's, you know. Yeah. So, but no. Your penis as a male just really drives you. You know.
It's horrible.
You know. And you know, women have been complaining lately about how men pursue them. Okay, and they have no idea what the drive is. Now, I've always been a gentleman, okay? So my drive was mitigated by my sense of fairness and decency, okay? But it was a hard impulse to stop. Am I right?
Oh, yeah. I mean, just what I think the average man, don't we have a sexual thought like every 30 seconds or something?
Well, I think it's all very primal. You know, it's all very primal. I mean, that's our job. And I say that I've said this to women, and they go, "Oh, yeah, right, sure." Our job is to inseminate the herd.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you know, in that whole inseminating of the herd is this drive that we have on a constant basis, which I always pursued sex like crazy. So did you. I remember you. You were a horn dog.
Well, I was always pursuing women, but never succeeding.
Well, succeeding. You know, my problem was somebody said to me, Alex, a woman could come over to you, take her clothes off and say, "Fuck me," and you'd wonder if she wanted to have sex with you. You know? He said, you're so naive about, women who, like I'd be at a party or something, and then somebody would say to me, that woman just came on to you. And I go, really? Yeah. You should, I
same here. I totally missed it. And then I think we'd pursue women that weren't interested in us.
That was the other problem. I always chose the wrong women,
Right.
If I chose the right, if I chosen the right woman at the very beginning, I'd probably still be married to her. Okay, But like I watch these guys. I saw a thing on John Bon Jovi. I think he married his high school sweetheart or something, and they're still married.
Really?
They're still married. They still got a great marriage going for them. Now, what's that
and there's
all
a
about?
guy who could have thousands of women.
Yeah, what's that all about? I don't.
Yeah,
understand.
I know a couple people like that. They've been married for a long time. They're still like really happy, but it's very rare.
Well, someone once said to me, "What is the?" Because see, I'm an expert on marriage, and the reason I'm an expert is I've been married so many times that I've become an expert on marriage. And somebody said, what do you think is the biggest thing that would make it successful, make it for a successful marriage? And I said, forgiveness, because there's a lot of forgiving that goes on in a long-term marriage. And that includes, by the way, if he goes out and cheats on you. Because remember, he's got a dick and he's driven by a slightly different impulse than women are. And
it doesn't mean he doesn't love you, but he needs a little something on the side sometimes.
I always had a hard time explaining that, dear. Just because I want to fuck somebody else doesn't mean I don't love you. I didn't say that I want to love somebody else, and there's a difference in that. The part that wants to fuck that woman I saw at the party. Is my penis talking?
Right. When
I tell you I love you, and the reason I'm with you and I stay with you is because of I love you, so I just women don't tend to understand that. See, here's the difference between men and women. Men are meant to inseminate the herd. Really, I mean that's the natural impulse is to inseminate the herd. There's no aesthetic choice being made. Someone spreads their legs, you want to put something in there. Okay? All right. Women, on the other hand, are capable of having children. And the fact that they can have children makes them far more protective of their bodies than we do. We're not protective of our bodies. We will fuck anything. There's not a result that comes out of that. But with women, what comes out of that is a child. And so they're much more careful about who they have sex with, how often they have sex, and whatever. It wasn't until the pill came along that women actually got promiscuous and felt they could get promiscuous. But that sense that you can get pregnant, that you can have a child, is one of the mitigating factors in why women are very protective about themselves, where guys aren't. Does that make sense?
Oh, yeah, absolutely, yeah.
And the other part of it is there's a difference between penetrating and penetration. Penetration is an act of invasion, and so if somebody's going to invade your body, you want it to be you want it to be. In the case of women, they want somebody that they feel they could love. Right. And I don't think I'm speaking as a sexist here. I mean they need the idea that of a certain amount of emotional security with a person they're having sex with. So women just don't have sex with anybody. Okay, guys have sex with anybody.
Yeah, and we don't need any emotion for it.
I mean, who was the most disgusting woman you ever had sex with? And you don't name her, please. But the woman who, when you think about it, you go, "Why the fuck did I do that?"
Exactly. And God knows what. I don't drink, but guys that drink have told me they've woken up with women that were just we're just horrified.
Well, I've told this story before. I don't know if it's worth telling again. when I was working at WMCA, when I would get off at 6 o'clock in the morning, there'd be a phone call waiting for me. And it was this woman with a very sexy voice. And then for the next hour, she would tell me on the phone every nuance of what she would do to me if I were with her. And so one morning she calls, and a friend of mine was with me when she called, and he said, "I dare you to go over there." And in those days, if somebody dared you, that was almost enough. But then he double dog dared me, and that's it. So I said, "Well, I'll come over. Where are you?" And she said, "I'm at the McAlpin Hotel, room blah, blah, blah." I went, "Okay." So I go to the McAlpin Hotel, go up to the room. The door opens. I swear to you, the woman who answers it is wider than the door.
I never heard this story.
Yeah. And she looked at me and she said, "You don't have to come in if you don't want to." Well, I'm a nice guy. I have to admit this. There's a nice part of me, and I didn't want to hurt her feelings. So I said, "No, of course I'll come in." Well, before I know it, I'm having to, have sex with her. It was one of those cases where basically she had to pee first so I could follow the stream. And with everything in me, and you know what happens when you're having sex with somebody you don't want to have sex with? You come really fast.
You want to get out of there.
You want to get out of there. So I came really fast, and she said, "Oh, that's the best I ever had." I went, "Probably," and I left. Okay, and all the way home, I'm getting these chilblains down my back. What did I just do? So I get home, and I'm about ready to go to bed, and the phone rings, and it's my friend who double dog dared me. And he said, "Well, what happened?" I said, "Well, I went over there, and she opened up the door." I said, "She was the most gorgeous woman I ever saw in my life. I mean, really sexy, big tits, small waist. I mean, gorgeous face." And he said, "Really?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "Okay, well, I'm glad you had a good time," and he hangs up. I know what's going to happen. About 2 hours later, I'm sleeping, the phone rings, I pick it up, and he goes, "You fucking son of a bitch." Because he knew the room that I was going to. I said, "Well, what happened?" He said, "Well, she opened the door and she said, 'You don't have to come in if you don't want to.'" And what else was I going to do?
Jesus.
He dated her a second time, by the way, so he could get her over to his house in Queens and put her on the scale. And those were the scales that went to 300. You remember those?
Yeah.
He said it went to 300 and then it went to 15.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So that's my story. You don't have to come in if you don't want to, and that is maybe the worst ever. And you would think after that a guy would swear off sex, right? No.
Yeah.
No, we don't square off sex. We're ready for the next woman who says you don't have to come in if you don't want to. So, but
I'd never heard that story. That's hilarious.
Yeah, you and I, are gentlemen, and we probably never pushed things. I don't think there's any woman that could say that I coerced her into sex.
Yeah, me either. But I think some women do like that really kind of aggressive guy.
Well, the question is in this Me Too era, I mean, what is too aggressive? Certainly, you find somebody attractive, a guy maybe wants to have sex with her, or he'd like to even get to know her better, and so he pursues it. Now, at what point is that pursual unacceptable? I mean, to some women, it seems like any pursual at all is unacceptable.
Yeah, anything.
And to others, I would say that, I never put anybody in a position where they couldn't say, "Well, I'm not interested," And if they said I'm not interested, that was it. Hey, that's fine, that's okay. and my dick went limp. You know, so I mean, but I just think that what's happening lately with the whole Me Too movement is that they're accusing some guys of things which, you know, really were silly at best. I found the whole thing with Louis C.K. silly at best. You know, he pulled his penis out in front of him. Yeah, but he asked first. You know, he said, "Do you mind if I pull my penis out?" And nobody said no. Or nobody said, "Well, if you do, I'm leaving the room." You know, nobody got up and left. They watched him pull his penis out. Now, granted, I would never say to a group of women, "Do you mind if I pull my penis out?" And I'm very proud of my penis, I might add. Okay? But I never would have ever done something like that. But if I were to do it, I would certainly ask first, and that's what Louis C.K. did, and now he can't work. He's lost everything because he asked permission. I mean, what's that all about?
Yeah, and there's a few other guys have been ruined, too, that were questionable.
Yeah, and the problem with Louis C.K. was he was like one of the first ones, you know, in the whole Me Too thing. If he had done it, if this had all been found out yesterday, I think he'd still be working. You know, because a lot of guys are still working. You know, so I mean,
yeah.
But I think that the whole Me Too movement was an attack on men in general, and on the fact that we have certain biological imperatives that hold sway over us. Now, as to whether we are able to curb that and not allow it to do something which is antisocial is the important question. And I've always been good at not allowing it to make me antisocial. You know, praise me, you know, pat me on the back. You know, so I just, you know, I just think it's kind of sad, you know, that some of these people are being attacked for what was at the time acceptable. I mean, you got to remember there was a time when it was acceptable for a guy to force himself. You know, and nobody.
Yeah, and you can't go back they canceled some song because it was considered racist, but it was from 1928 or something.
Oh, Baby, It's Cold Outside.
Yeah,
is the one that they're making a big deal about now. Oh, that's a rape song. It's a whole cute song about baby, it's cold outside. I really must stay, but baby, it's cold outside. You must go. And he's convincing her that he should stay because it's cold outside. Mm-hmm. It's not a terrible song. It was when I was a kid, I loved that song, and I didn't grow up to be a rapist, you know. So I just think all this stuff that we go back and retroactively consider to be bad. I have to admit, I would have never done any of the acts these guys did. Okay? Never would have thought of it for a moment. Never used my position, my power, anything like that to get laid. That's just not who I am. I want somebody to like me if they want to sleep with me. You know? So I would never do any of that. I'm sure there's some women out there who would say I did, but I didn't. You know, I know a couple of crazy women who we won't get into that. But you do too. You've known crazy women, you know, who would accuse you of something.
If you're in this business, you're going to meet crazy people. So.
I mean, can you imagine Larry Bubbles Brown being a sexual aggressor? You know.
My whole life is built on being a loser.
Being on a loser. You wouldn't even be an aggressor that way because you wouldn't want the rumor to get around you were. You know,
no,
it would ruin.
I think what you said, though, that's the thing is, like, if I was ever pursuing a woman and you could tell she wasn't interested, I just immediately got out of there. I just would never pursue it.
Well, either that or I wouldn't get out of there. I mean, if it were in a social situation, I would continue with the social situation, complete it, and then leave, and then probably I wouldn't see her again. Or if I felt that maybe that was just a momentary thing where she said no, for whatever reason, I might try again, see if she wants to go on a second date. If she wants to go out on a second date, then I guess maybe there was some other reason why then she didn't want to, or maybe she was just the kind that didn't want to do it on a first date. But I was always very considerate of that. I didn't want to I guess my greatest fear was making somebody feel uncomfortable.
Yeah, me too. I hate that.
I would not want to make somebody feel uncomfortable for my actions. And that's kind of where it's all at. But anyway, so, but do you remember a particular situation where it was not like mine at the McAlpin Hotel?
No, I never had one like that. But that was.
I mean, did you ever not turn somebody down who you wanted to turn down because you didn't want to hurt their feelings?
I had a couple that I was not interested in that kept pursuing me, and I just kind of because I didn't want to hurt their feelings. I never said I didn't like them, so it kept going on for way longer than it should have.
Well, I had somebody pursuing me, and she was 17 at the time, and she kept pursuing me, and she would drop by my house occasionally, and she kept pursuing me, and then she turned 18, and so I went. I said to her, I don't make it a policy to have sex with virgins, and she said, "Oh, I'm not a virgin." And the next thing you knew, we were fucking. And the next thing you know, it became 11 years of misery. And you know who she was. My constant on-again, off-again girlfriend.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes those things where you didn't want to turn into a long-term relationship. And why I pursued that for so long, I have no idea. She broke up with me. In 11 years, she broke up with me 11 times. And I just went, well, this time it'll be better, because the making up was always so much better than the whole. It was part of our relationship, was the making up.
Yeah, I had one of those where it was constantly breaking up and getting back together. Just so much drama and shit.
Well, we were broken up when the earthquake took place, the Loma Prieta, right? But she was with me.
Yeah, I remember that. And
she was with.
That was great that night.
She was with me when it happened, so she came back, and that night, even though we had broken up, we had sex, and I have to say, it was maybe one of the best sexual times that I've ever had, and I call it a rubble fuck. That if there's ever a tragedy in the world, try and be there at that time, like a major earthquake, because the sex you're going to have after that is the best sex you will ever have. And I asked...
Yeah, it's probably because you think it might be your last one.
Well, I asked a psychologist about this, and he said it's a known fact that you as human beings have the desire to perpetuate your species. And in moments of danger like that, it becomes far more intense.
Yeah.
And so the danger, there was smoke in the air, and there were sirens going off, and there were people running up and down the street.
Aftershock.
Yeah, aftershocks and whatever. And I swear to you, that night we had the best sex we ever had. I don't know if you were with anybody after the Loma Prieta, but it was wonderful. So I'd like to have one more rubble fuck before I die.
Well, maybe it'll happen.
I'll take girlfriend to an earthquake zone, and hope the big one hits. She doesn't want to move to California, but I'm telling her now that's the best sex we will ever have. Okay. So anyway, so here we are, Larry Bubbles Brown, Alex Bennett, two of America's biggest losers, talking about sexual exploits. And,
Rubble fuck, I like that.
And I think both of us did pretty well in our time, because we were nice guys about it all, and I'm sure you.
Yeah,
were.
some women do appreciate when you're nice to them. a friend of mine told me if you ignore a woman or you're kind of mean to her, they seem to like that more. And I was never good at that.
Well, that's because you're a challenge at that point. Hey, listen, we've run out of time here. And look, we talked about sex with Larry Bubbles Brown.
And World Series.
And the World Series. And what happens when you want to keep from coming? You think about baseball. Anyway, thanks, Larry.
Thanks, Alex. Have a happy Thanksgiving.
Wait a minute, that was last week.
Oh, okay.
Oh, this is going
to happen. Hope you had a great Thanksgiving.
It was yummy. It was terrific. I ate way too much. Talk to you later.
Okay.
Bye.
5 years and still talking. This is GabNet, the Great American Broadcast Network. Talk like you've never heard it before.
Hey, everybody. Hear that voice? Yeah. I got a cold over Thanksgiving. Yeah, got a cold. I don't know how I got a cold. I don't go out and see people. I don't spend time out of doors. There's nobody I could catch it from. So I don't know. I don't know what the story is. Anyway, so I'm feeling a little out of it tonight. And I wasn't going to do a show because of the cold, but then I decided I better do a show because people go, he never does a show on Tuesday anymore. So I felt that I should do it. Okay? All right. But if I blow my nose a lot tonight, don't give me a bad time. I know I'm towards the end of the cold because, it's that part where you get the green stuff starts coming out. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Anyway, let me see here. Let me open up my Skype here. Come on. There we go. Activate it. There we go. I forget how to do these things if I don't do them for a couple of days. Oh, look who's calling already. Wait a minute. Are you there?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're there. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on a second. Let me get.
Schmoody's all snot nosed.
Yes, Schmoody is snot nosed. That's right. It's the snot nosed. I can't say the snot nosed Schmoody. Try saying that 3 times fast.
Snot nosed Schmoody. I can't.
Yeah. That was a terrible term we had for each other that we used to make other people want to vomit.
Yep, totally.
Yeah. What are you wearing tonight? It looks like you're wearing a bathrobe, but you're not.
No, I'm not. This is like it's a what are they called? A hoodie that my mom gave me from Gualala.
You're so silly.
I know.
There I go. See?
Oh, you are sick.
Oh, I'm sick as I've been sick as a dog. I'm actually better than I was.
Surgery.
There's
nothing worse than dealing with sick men.
No, but I was this was pretty bad on Thanksgiving Day. It was just horrible.
Jeez.
And it just kept going and going and going, and it's still kind of in there doing its thing. But here's Josh Wheeler. Oh, good. Oh, good.
Do you feel better,
yes.
though?
What?
Do you feel better?
Do I feel better? Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, I could have spent the night off, but I decided, number one, wait a minute, that's not what I want. If you hold on a second, I gotta get Josh Wheeler on here. I put up we have 2 Phils on here, and that's not good. That's never a good thing. Yeah. Okay. Well, you're going away now. There's some kind of noise coming.
Doppelganger on the next episode.
Some kind of noise coming from your apartment, Josh. It's kind of like a hiss.
It's Phil's doppelganger.
You hear it?
Yeah, I hear the hiss.
Yeah. Wait one moment as he tries to figure out what it is. Well, it just went away.
Yeah.
But he may have killed his mic.
All he had to do was put his finger up and it went away.
It put his finger up and it went away?
Try this.
Really? Oh, gee, my Skype looks funny tonight. Oh, this is wonderful.
We're waving our hands.
Yeah, you know what? I'm going to hang this up, and I'll have you guys call me back in a second, okay? Do that in a second, okay? Let me just get rid of this, because There is something that's not working here. Okay. Okay. There we go. We got rid of it. Now we'll start it up again. There was some glitching in the you didn't see it on the show, but I could see it here, and it didn't look healthy. Come on, there we go. Okay, we're back up. Okay, everybody can start calling again, and let's see if it's any better now than it was before. Okay, all right. Here we go. Wait a minute. There we go. Who is that? Who we got up there? Phil? Are you there, Phil? Who's there? Who isn't there? Come on, people, call. Who's there? I thought I saw somebody coming up or trying to come up. Come on, call me. Damn it. Here we go. There's Kathleen. And now it's all looking a little better. Okay.
Let's stop worshiping him.
I'm lost in the abyss.
Yeah.
Let's stop worshiping him
now we're waiting for Phil. Wait a minute. Or Josh to call.
I'm lost in the abyss.
Here we go.
Does that mean Gabnet is using a device that could record and broadcast this call?
There's Josh. And now we're waiting for Phil to call.
So we're on.
Yeah, so you guys are on, and
you're not back yet.
No, and your sound, your sound is fine. No, there was this hole, kind of.
I guess I'll hang up and try to call back again.
Yeah. No, your sound's fine. Your sound is great. Wait a minute, what did he call? What did he hang up for? What did he do that for? We had him fine. Do we have you, Kathleen? What happened to Kathleen? Oh, don't tell me this is like a fucked up thing tonight. Let me see here. Phil, are you there? There's Phil. Phil?
Hello.
Can you hear me? And
hello.
And there's Josh.
He's still on here?
Yeah, there's Josh.
He's what the?
There you go.
I
All
think
right.
Alex is elsewhere for the moment.
What do you mean? What do you mean I'm elsewhere for the moment? Can you hear me?
Is he on the air? I don't know.
He is.
Wait a minute. Oh,
but he doesn't have us.
They
now
can't.
He's saying, well, so let me.
Wait a minute. I can hear you. Wait a minute. What is this? Hold on a second. This is.
I can hear you. Oh, he hears us.
Yeah, but you can't hear me.
Alex, turn on your camera.
Turn on my camera. My camera is on.
We're gonna change it to the Phil Meyer show.
No, Alex, turn your camera on.
My camera is on, Phil. Oh, boy.
Abre la camera.
What is the problem here? Hold on.
Okay.
Well, the camera
something's
is on.
not right, because I see Josh. I see Kathleen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And we see...
Oh, wait a minute. Hold on a second. Audio, video setting. Now, everybody's gone. Oh, boy. Welcome to the wonderful world of fucking Skype. Here we go. Quit Skype. Wait a minute. First of all, audio, video settings. No, Skype is gone. Skype is just fucked. It won't even quit on me. Oh, boy. There it goes. Now it's gone. Now, we'll try and bring Skype back up again. And let's see if we can get it to work. Oh, there is Skype. Here we go. Let me do this. Hold on a second, folks. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. I didn't need this tonight. Skype not responding. Forced to quit. Okay, I'm forcing it to quit. There we go. Now I will try and bring Skype up again. I don't want that. Dashboard, force quit. Hold on a second, everybody. Just let me do this first. Okay, everybody, try calling me again, and let's see what happens. Okay, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Kathleen, can you hear me?
I'm all
can you hear
by
me?
myself.
Can you hear me?
Nothing Frick!
Nobody can hear me. What is this? Oh, God almighty. Oh, no. Jeff Stein. Let me see here. Jeff, can you hear me? Can you hear me, Jeff? Jeff can't hear me. And neither can Kathleen. Let me see here. Let me go here to audio video settings. Let me see what's
Well, hello.
happening. Let me see what's happening here. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on a second.
We're having Skype issues, apparently.
I guess so.
No, wait a minute. Hold on a second. Wait a minute.
Issues.
Can you hear me
Nothing new
now?
for me.
No, you can't hear
I
me
never
now.
have Skype issues, but apparently Alex is.
Well, I'm so
Sacrifice,
glad it's going for him. It's usually me, and he always kind of gets bitchy about it.
See, you got.
I know. So I've got you, me, and then a little circle that says Gabnet.
Testing. One,
Yeah,
two,
I see
three.
the.
There we go.
I see the circle. Yeah.
Yeah.
see.
And then Josh and Phil are somewhere out in Skype.
Can you hear me? Can you guys
My
hear
son
me
said
at all?
Skype hell.
Hold on a second.
So tell me about your son a little bit.
Yeah, let them talk.
So my son is 14.
Oh, he looks older than that.
Everybody says that.
Yeah.
He's in 8th grade. Absolutely despises school.
Oh, that's too bad.
I know. No, there's some stuff he likes, but he feels he has nothing in common with any of the kids. Luckily, he doesn't play video games. He loves movies. So
No, that doesn't work either, does it? No. Now, wait a minute.
he can listen to the music and say, oh, yeah, okay, Hans Zimmer did that, or Danny Elfman did that.
Mm-hmm.
But with the kids at the school, he just feels he has no connection because all they do is cuss, talk about video games, or crude jokes.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't like the fact that, one day he was telling me he said, Mom, how come the girls out there dress like, he wouldn't even say the word. He said tookers.
I give up.
And I said, do you think that's appropriate? And he said, no. And I said, well, that's the parents. If the parents buy them the clothes, then, they're the culprits behind letting their daughters wear that type of stuff. But just the fact that he doesn't like that is a good sign.
Oh, really?
You just moved. You got bigger.
I know. I saw that. So did you. You're taking up the whole screen.
I'm good.
I don't know what happened to Alex. So where are you?
I don't know what.
I'm in Connecticut.
Oh, nice. Tracy, California.
Nice.
Is that where you live?
Yeah.
It's just coming through on my audio video.
Connecticut's beautiful.
It was freezing today, snowing like crazy.
Really?
Okay.
Yeah.
I work for Costco, but I work in their chill freeze warehouse, so I'm working in 30-degree weather every day.
This is ridiculous.
So I laugh at my California friends on Facebook. One of my friends was like, oh my gosh, it's 47 degrees. And I just shook my head. I didn't comment. I just thought, man, really? I work in 30-degree weather. I mean, we've got snow gear on.
Yeah. That's funny.
I wish it would snow here.
Well, it does snow in California once. Maybe.
All right. Hey.
Phil.
Hey, we have two.
Yeah.
Three.
But now, I've got the Gabnet symbol. Looks like Alex is on YouTube. You can't hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Oh,
I just can't communicate with them.
Alex is on YouTube. I see his, pretty much live YouTube picture, but on Skype, he's just a
well, here comes
icon.
Yeah, because there's the icon right there.
Yeah.
I don't know what the problem is.
So I rebooted my computer. I wasn't getting through. It kept I kept getting an error message. So I rebooted the computer to get through this time. I wasn't getting through to any conversations.
Well, mine would go, it would start to ring and then it would make this poof sound. And then at one point it says, Phil Meyer and Alex Bennett would like to know how your Skype experience has been. And that just, I was like, X.
I didn't ask the question.
They can't hear me
It was
at all.
lying.
You know what I'm going to have to do? I'm going to have to
I
reboot
just rang
this whole
back.
thing. I'm going to have to reboot this whole thing. I can't put up with that. There's something wrong here, and I have no idea what it is. So let me stop the program, stop recording.